Alright, ready?
Kayfabe Gimmicks! You know where to find us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube.
Fucking #1 Kayfabe Gimmicks podcast ever. So.
How are you looking for?
Put words in the wrong place.
Are you recording all this, dude? The best wrestling podcast that's always been.
What you gonna do, brother, when the beast starts talking about wrestling and drinking whiskey and it's all crazy up in here? Oh my god, please, thank you, because I need to get this
Alex,
off.
shut the goddamn hell up. This is Kayfabe Gimmicks. It's Snuva. I got a few different people here tonight. We're going to start with Big Tiny.
Juice and jam time.
We got Roughly.
As always, it's me, it's Rough Lee.
We got the Wonder Twins, Gantz and CEO Kane.
Yeah, I'm here for you, boys.
Cocked and loaded, bitch.
Oh, shit, dude. Damn. We got Matt here.
It's the ugly spitter all in your ear hole.
Oh, shit. That's where Alex came on last night on your mom, dude.
No, I'm telling my mom.
You know, Alex was supposed to introduce himself on that.
Listen, man, I was laughing, and the truth is that I didn't come in her ear hole, I just came all around it.
Oh.
I'm telling my mom, seriously.
So I'm pretty sure you're all here because this is our super, oh my fucking god, we're pissed, the Rumble's over special.
Sadness.
Yes.
It doesn't explain it for me. It's just depression.
I'm not.
Let me say the obvious. The win was not the surprise. How it went down is the surprise and the disappointment.
Alex is the most pissed, so we're gonna let Alex do his little pissy rant here. Alex, let out your salt.
I'm just gonna put it in the most flat words that I can. There's two things that fucking piss me off. 2 years in a row, we get the Royal Rumble winner to get fucking booed. And then this year, their solution to stop them from booing, they knew they were going to get booed, is they bring The Rock. And The Rock gets fucking booed. Are you fucking kidding me? It was so bad. Dwayne The Rock Johnson got booed. What the fuck?
Let me ask you a question here. Do you feel that if The Rock had been in the Rumble and won the Rumble, that crowd would have accepted it better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
A lot better.
There was no way that Reigns winning that Rumble was going to go over well. And all they did by eliminating Daniel Bryan, I looked at the number, it was 8th, was make it so that maybe the crowd would run out of boos. Nope. They were strong, they were powerful, and god damn it, did I love it, because they deserved every single fucking boo that happened.
Now, there was a couple of moments where the crowd tried to come back. Dean Ambrose was a big one. Ryback was the most surprising for me, I think. And I'm going to ask that question to everybody, because I know me and Alex like Ryback, so we weren't surprised that the crowd was kind of behind him. But Big Tiny, what were your thoughts on the fact that Ryback actually got cheers at the Royal Rumble?
I actually don't understand it. Like, I don't see what he's done to deserve any kind of cheers.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Ruff, what do you think?
I think that we just need, if we're going to have a big muscle to get behind, Ryback is the guy. Right now, he's not doing anything dirty. He's not doing anything swarmy. And if anything, this whole Rumble exchange just upped him in face points.
And then if you recall, before he had a little timeout, how he had a promo where he basically was trying to, I guess, show himself in a different light, get people to understand him more, say a story, how he became Ryback. I guess that was probably the point of him trying to get over. But it still is a surprise as of now. He's actually getting cheers.
I think he had successfully gone over it.
I heard all that on It's Jericho, so that just didn't do anything for me. All he did was repeat what he was talking about for an hour and 30 minutes.
He did in 10 minutes time, and that hour 30 probably did him a lot better. I'll give you that. Gantz, what were your thoughts on Ryback and cheers?
For me, I don't like or dislike Ryback, but I don't know. He's okay with me. I have no issues with him.
Matt, thoughts on it?
I don't care. I don't care.
Alrighty.
about that.
So we're gonna go to Big Tiny. Give us your thoughts on Reigns winning.
Oh my God, like, I was so hyped for this year's Royal Rumble, and WWE took all my expectations and just urinated on them. Just pissed on them twice.
Pissed on him.
I really wanted Ambrose to win, and I was hoping it was at least going to be Roman Reigns stand across the ring from Ambrose, and they were going to have a great fight, and then maybe Roman Reigns would win or something, but Ambrose just got dumped out. Ziggler just got dumped out. And just worst ending ever.
Ruff, what were your thoughts on that ending?
All right, couple quick points about it. I say that if you've got big muscle that can't talk, then you're going to need a mouthpiece. And we just made Rock his mouthpiece. That's what we got to have him doing it. The problem with it is nothing about that makes him a baby face, because in the end, the storyline is going to be Rock saying that you couldn't do it without me. So I already see where this whole plot line is going to be. And since Roman hasn't shown himself as someone who can speak on the mic, then he's going to be big muscle. That's not going to get the job done the way that we would like it to. He's too green, and we can't make him next generation because of this whole 3-generation thing that I keep talking about, as far as who is in the league, who needs to go, who's been buried in a mid-card, and who should be up and coming. If you're going to push a Roman Reigns as your new big muscle, and he can't speak on the mic, then you're going to have someone like The Rock, and the end of the story is going to be that you've got to have an outside voice speaking for him that's going to walk away from him. And I really feel bad for Reigns at this point because he's going to look weak. By the time this is all said and done, you're going to have Roman Reigns look like big muscle crybaby, because you're going to have The Rock treat him like a bitch the way that he just treated the Authority like a bitch.
All right. So you're telling me that you think that The Rock's going to actually be back for the next, basically, Reigns manager?
That's
If
what it
Reigns
looked like.
I mean, if Reigns can't speak, and we all know that, Rock is in the top 5, if not the top 2 of all-time mic spitters, as far as...
Mind if I interject on you here, Rob?
Yeah.
The problem with that whole thought process is that The Rock will not be around enough to be Reigns' mouthpiece.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't see that. All right, let's go on. Gantz, go ahead. Give us your thoughts on Reigns winning.
It was terrible. I'm pretty sure everybody saw it coming, but the way it was handled was just awful. They didn't. I don't know. They didn't really need Big Show and Kane. I don't know. I just hated the way they handled it. I was really rooting for Bray to get in there and win since he started it towards the beginning. But yeah, it was terrible.
I definitely feel like we had way too much big muscle coming in there with Big Show at the very end. It's like we had at least 5 gigantic motherfuckers in that ring. Because honestly, Cesaro and Barrett count as big muscle to me. Me and Ruff were talking about this. They are big guys. Even though they might not be the biggest in frame, they're a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Matt, what were your thoughts on Reigns winning?
All right, so first off, I hate it, of course, but the only way that they could have stopped the whole crowd from booing the rest of the match after Daniel Bryan got eliminated was if Reigns was taken out before Daniel Bryan was. Because as soon as Bryan got eliminated, that ruined all hope of anybody but Reigns winning. And the crowd knew it. Everybody knew it. That's why everybody booed. Even though they had Ziggler breathe a little bit of life into it, they just knocked him out and tossed him out like a dummy. And
I feel like we had a couple of moments where life got brought back into the crowd, but it was never enough to actually resuscitate.
Yeah, you can't bring it back from that. And the bad thing about this is that he's so green that him winning that and everybody hating it, he didn't know how to handle it. Even The Rock came out and couldn't save his ass. Everybody hated it. The interview on the Fallout show was horrible. I mean,
I had a lot of fun with The Rock, to be honest. I think we all did, right?
Yeah.
The Rock wasn't even speaking right. Everything was off about the interview. Like,
Yeah, he was kind of being a jet.
Like, you could see the way Reigns was taking out his anger on the interviewer. Like, he couldn't handle the fact that he just got Batistaed. Like, this happened to you.
You got Batista, bro.
He knows he's fucked. Like, what's going to happen on Raw Monday? Or is everybody going to be okay with it, cool with it? Or is he going to get booed the fuck out of the building and stink the joint up?
He's going to get booed out of the building again.
No, Batista was supposed to be a face when he came back, but he turned into a heel because they fucking, it was Daniel Bryan's time and everybody fucking knew it. Like, now, even if it wasn't Bryan, even if he got eliminated, if Reigns was already out, it would have been okay because there was Ziggler. There was other people that would be like, okay, this is dope. I can roll with that.
But everybody knew that Reigns was still there.
Yeah, and that's just, it was way too predictable. He's way too green to be at the main event with Brock Lesnar. He's not gonna know how to handle it. This is gonna be a real shaky. It's gonna be a real shaky time that he from now till Mania with this dude. It's gonna be really weird moments in there because he don't know how to handle this, and he's gonna get some fucking heat.
All right. I want to get Kane's opinion on this, and then obviously we got some more places to go. Kane, your thoughts here on Reigns win?
And good point of you leading into WrestleMania, because that was the reason why Reigns was my pick to win. And I feel like they want to push Reigns because of coming off of first off, he won the Slammy for 2004 Superstar of the Year. And
But you shouldn't have.
And I feel like they want to push him because of the benefits that he, I guess, brings to the table, one being The Rock, so to speak. So they want to, I guess, see something in him and want to push him. And I was thinking about the Mania opponent being Brock Lesnar, having paired them together. Now, back to the part of speaking about him needing a mouthpiece. Both of them need mouthpieces. So you have The Rock in one corner and you have Paul Heyman in the other. So it's not even the two superstars, which I don't really understand why they would want to push this. You have other people that are speaking on their behalf that are hyping up this match, and you're pushing him into the, Mania, which I don't want to reveal my result now, but well, that's another date. But that was the reason why I picked it, because I felt like they wanted to push him as the potential opponent for Mania, and I don't know what they're gonna scheme up or whatnot, but that's my little piece as far as the match is concerned.
All right. Can I bring it back 1 second? Just because of what
if you want to bring it back to Reigns again.
Just because of what he said. The thing is that with Brock Lesnar, it works having Paul Heyman be his mouthpiece because Brock Lesnar is so dominant in the ring, and he can actually go in the ring. He has a very large set of moves that whenever the match starts, it doesn't matter because Brock Lesnar is that good. Reigns does not have that. He does not command the ring like Brock Lesnar does, and he damn sure doesn't have the moveset as he does. However, and I'm going to say this, I know where Todd wants to go, so I'm just going to give him his segue here. Brock Lesnar tonight in that triple threat was amazing. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah.
He definitely was, but see, this is where we're at right now. We just billed the Beast as winning a triple threat after getting demolished with triple A's, curb stomps, all sorts of things, and won with a broken rib. And now, I know a lot of people wanted Daniel Bryan in this, and I started screaming like a motherfucker. You would have thought it was a goddamn football game, and they had just goddamn scored when I started screaming when Daniel Bryan got fucking eliminated. I was happy. I didn't necessarily want a Reigns win, don't get me wrong. Fuck that dude, he sucks. but I didn't want the Bryan either, because I don't see Bryan as being able to defeat Brock Lesnar with how we've built him up at this point. He's a fucking monster. And the problem is that for me right now, the only people you have that could beat Lesnar and actually seem worthwhile, and you had two great choices right now. The Rock, even as a part-time, it was like, oh, well, he's the fucking Rock. And your second one with how this thing went down tonight was Rusev. So I'm going to start with Big Tiny again, and the Rusev swerve. It could have gone somewhere, but it didn't. How did you feel it was going to go when it happened?
See, I don't see Rusev as being able to beat Brock Lesnar. I don't see anyone in there really being able to beat Brock Lesnar.
Now, before you take that any further, you got to remember Rusev is still undefeated, and he is currently a champion. So, in a lot of senses, he is built as pretty unstoppable right now.
I see the John Cena thing more his speed right now. I don't see him or Reigns doing anything to deserve the main event at WrestleMania. Like maybe they go with like Bray Wyatt or Dean Ambrose, someone that where they're like, well, I don't care if I get hurt, I'm just gonna kill myself, or Seth Rollins. But Roman Reigns and Rusev I don't want to see them just try to do some crap over Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar would murder them in any situation ever.
Now, see, in my opinion, I love the idea of taking somebody super fucking green, and this is part of why I loved Ryback. When Ryback came back, it's not Skip Sheffield, but Ryback, you built him up as undefeatable. They were shit, and this goes back to the whole Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton thing in 2006. You have this moment where even though they're green as shit, you can cement them with a victory that's so important that people will believe in them. Now, Ruff, what's your thoughts on the Rusev swerve? The man slid out of the bottom of the ropes. We almost thought he wasn't going to come back at all. He did, and it was over way too fucking quickly.
I think like they just wanted to make sure he was a name that you remembered for the Fallout show, because now we've got Super Cena, who is the other great American hero, you know, who you can have against Rusev, and that's going to wind up being the defining moment for Rusev, because
it really will, and it's definitely going to last till WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I mean, if he becomes the guy that can crush Super Cena, then we've got the other big monster heel, because that's the only thing to do with him. It's going to either be the beginning of a big role for him, or it's going to be the end of his role.
I feel you. One of these things I want to continue as we keep going through everybody. Rusev, obviously, we need to drop Lana at some point, or do we keep Lana? Ruff, go ahead and continue with that, though.
Dude, I already say that if he comes out of Mania and crushes Cena, it would not surprise me Monday after Raw for him to be in the ring with Lana, and out comes Heyman and says, I've got the new big thing. And he's a Heyman guy. And Lana's gone.
I feel you, but what I'm basically trying to get at is, do we ever have the man speak in actual English? As long as he can keep a Russian accent, unlike Kofi, I think he can go somewhere.
I think he can keep the Russian accent and speak English. But I'll tell you what, if you take someone that big when Brock is gone, and you partner it with a Heyman, you've got a pretty potent force again. Right now we're just I feel like we're in the middle of a swing of setting up new big muscle heels.
All right, Gantz, go ahead and talk about Rusev.
Well, Ralph said, like, if him and Heyman got the team up, you know, that'll actually be pretty cool. But as far as the Rumble, like, he was my last hope for somebody else to win besides Roman Reigns. But I like Rusev, and I think, it's going to be a big moment for him facing Cena. And I'm just really hoping he beats him, and I'm looking for a lot for Rusev because I like him.
Alrighty, Matt, go ahead and talk about some Rusev.
Well, I didn't even recognize that he didn't get eliminated. And when the people started chanting for him, I was like, well, they're just, anybody but who's in the ring right now. But then I started to put the pieces together or whatever by reading the chat on our Facebook group, Kayfabe Gimmicks. Go there now.
Oh, yeah. Chief shout out.
And when he came back in, I didn't even get excited. I knew it was like, there it goes. It ain't going to matter. But he is going to be beefing with Cena, so that takes Cena out of the title run or whatever. Because we need new people in that picture.
We need another major title to really define a better picture, I think, with the good people we have in this company right now.
Well,
I know we say that too often.
The whole brand split, I don't think they should do that. If anything, they should just start another federation and try to span out like NFL football or something like that, to where they don't even interact with the WWE.
That's basically NXT for you right now.
Yeah, but it's something different on a national-wide scale. But anyways, back to the Royal Rumble. But yeah, that dude's a beast, and I think he should keep the chick. That chick shouldn't leave because it's a perfect pair. I think
she does look great naked.
Yeah, she really does.
Alrighty, Kane, go ahead and tell us about Rusev.
Okay, I did see the Rusev when he rolled out the ring, and I think it was a good surprise for him to pop back in. But like everyone else said, I do agree it was a little bit short. The feud with John Cena would be pretty grand because I think Cena will help get Rusev over, because we've seen it time and time again with Cena being the victor in a lot of these situations. So it'll only be fitting if he's the one that helps get Rusev over. And I guess building a major force, Sabina, he hasn't lost yet. He has a lot of momentum on his side. I can see later on down the road towards Mania that if he does win, I can see a pairing with where Heyman wants to represent him, because I don't want to say any other things, but I feel like some things are going to shift. And so Heyman's going to become available. He is going to look for the next big thing or the next force or whatnot. And I feel like he could do something with Rusev, maybe take over for Lana, or maybe work side by side with Lana, some sort of to add something to it. And I think with Heyman, it'll kind of, I guess, drop the whole Russian-American divide or whatnot. That'll kind of open up his appeal to more people.
I think that's definitely a good thing, because we all know the America versus other countries storyline is way too played out.
Right.
Well, Alex, what are your thoughts on Rusev's little swerve? I think that was the closest thing we got to a swerve.
It fucking sucked because they didn't even play it out. It was, 30 seconds long?
I know, and we definitely ended the pay-per-view 17 minutes early.
Yeah. They could have at least let that happen for 5 minutes.
And, there's still some more to discuss about. Do you know how you're going to segue me this time, Alex, since you want to be so smart?
No. Go ahead, man. I got you.
All right. Nobody gives a shit to talk about any of the 4 tag matches, do they? Open discussion real quick. Does anybody want to talk about the 4 tag matches?
I think the New Age Outlaws was that was a solid match. I don't think it was.
I think that was the only one worth discussing.
Yeah, it was a solid match. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was a solid match,
I feel you. Big Tiny was trying to talk there. Go ahead, Big Tiny.
I think it's the first pay-per-view I've ever seen with no singles match, but I like Cesaro and Tyson Kidd together. Yeah, that's the only good thing out of it for me. But other than that.
I think that was the only good thing out of it for pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling the tag matches.
But I mean, I definitely love seeing Billy Gunn. Ruff, Gantz, Kane. Anybody want to talk about any of those tag matches? Really?
I got nothing.
Nope.
Zilch.
That's a giant no. I will have one question for you guys about the tag matches. Should we have had a Divas tag match or a Divas title match?
It doesn't matter.
No, nobody really.
It really wouldn't have mattered.
Nobody really gives a shit. You're right. It's not time to start building that division.
Well, it seems like they're actually putting some work into it right now. Like they're actually trying and not just dropping storylines.
To me, they just ruined everything that Stephanie McMahon and Brie were doing. That was the only time it was important. Now they just canceled all that out. So
yeah, it kind of got weird as soon as that heel turn from Brie happened.
If you even call that a heel turn, she just one day, I guess they just made up behind the scenes and hey, we're all good family. So hey.
Well, it was kind of a heel turn because unwanted slave, I'm pissed off about it, and then like, oh, we're sisters, fuck everybody else.
It makes you wonder if that's when they decided at Creative that they weren't going to let Bryan win. I mean, if you're going to stop the build that abruptly, after all that time of keeping us interested in the Bellas, while Bryan is in rehab, getting himself back in action, then you just got to think that's when they had to put the brakes on.
Mm-hmm. And
I could really see that. I hadn't thought about that, actually.
Yeah. And I think they're trying to... I actually think with the Total Divas show, I think that is where they're really trying to push the Divas storylines and everything. They're trying to mimic the show with what's going on real life in the on Raw whenever they're actually on TV. So I think they're trying to like push you over that way to watch the shows and stuff like
Get a
that.
little bit of background noise off somebody there.
But I actually like the NXT product of what they're doing with the Divas there.
Yeah, I love the Divas in NXT.
Well then. Interesting questions. Oh god, where was I going to go with this? From here, I really want to look at another open question. My moment of the night that got ended way too quickly, I had a couple of them during the Rumble itself, but one of them was definitely Bubba Ray.
Yeah.
Bubba Ray came out, and I don't know if he re-signed with this company, but let's be honest, I didn't really give a shit about him in TNA, but I love being billed as a Dudley Boy. Dudley Boys make me happy.
I like R-Truth as the new Devon. That was special for me. But I think Bubba Ray was the best surprise they've had in years in the Royal Rumble. I didn't see that coming at all.
I definitely see that one. So, in that sense, Gantz, thoughts on Bubba?
It was a big surprise. I loved it. I loved him and R-Truth together. I wish...
Did it end way too quickly?
Yeah, he definitely could have kept going. Like, he was over in TNA. He was like their top main... He was like their John Cena. But...
at the end, yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering here. Why would we drop him at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, it ended way too quick for him.
Why would TNA drop him?
Yeah, I don't know if TNA dropped
he
him.
left. Because,
Or how we handled that one.
I don't think he wanted to be on that new show.
Pause.
I got that. Wait a second.
Was
So I
it
just
feet?
started putting myself on mute till I talk. So
Alrighty, guys. Sorry about that. We're back for there. We had a commercial interruption or something. We were talking about Bully Ray and how happy we are to see him back. I believe we already spoke to you, Big Tiny, about it, right? Or did I get confused? I might have gotten confused.
I think I started speaking about it on my own,
I'm
but
pretty
you
sure.
moved on.
I'm pretty sure you did, and Gantz talked about it. So we're going to go to Matt now. Matt, what were your thoughts on seeing Bubba Ray?
It was great, man. When he came out, I was like, oh, shit. And once he was in there for a little bit, I was like, oh, damn, he's not just a gimmick in here. I was like, he's fucking putting it down. It was pretty fucking awesome. I liked it. It surprised me. It took me by surprise because I ain't know nothing about it. And Last I knew, he was a TNA homeboy, and he just pops out. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, I was really not expecting it either at all. In a lot of ways, I'm wondering if he really re-signed. I think I already mentioned that a few times. But more importantly, did it end too early? That's gonna be my segue because I have something I want to say about that. Trust me. But we're gonna go ahead and go on to Kane. What were your thoughts on T and Bubba Ray back in a WWE ring?
It was awesome. I have the same, question as if he's actually signed, and if he signed, is Devon behind him? And to that point would be that you're looking at them, and you're looking at Road Dogg and the Outlaws and stuff. These old tag team, former, tag teams that were from the past that are coming back, not necessarily to reclaim glory, but I guess to help them re-identify the tag team division. So I feel like it's a good move if he is here for some bit of time.
Now, so you just took this somewhere very interesting to me, because in my mindset, we're really just using this to push the Ascensionists somewhere right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the whole division. Now, if the New Age Outlaws went ahead and fought Brand New Day, Team Cat, is that their real fucking name, or what the fuck's going on with that? Everybody keeps calling them Team Cat.
Team Cat is horrible.
I like Team Cat.
Why are they Team Cat, though, is my question.
Because
and loves cats.
Wait. Is
the
it Cat
names.
because Cesaro and Tyson? That's gay. Oh,
Cesaro, Adam, Tyson.
That's the names. That's what it is.
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard, guys.
That is awesome.
That is fucking gay.
I'm not
What
the
happened
only
to
one.
the bunny? That just never paid off.
Justin Gabriel left the WWE, so the bunny is gone.
No, the bunny was Hunico, I thought.
No, the bunny was Justin Gabriel.
I thought it was Hunico. He got unmasked in an episode. I think it was on Fallout one day. He was unmasked, and it was Hunico. But he was like unmasked in the background. They weren't actually showing him off.
Random.
Seriously, it was random as shit. Anyways, Alex, Bubba Ray showed up, man.
Dude, I marked. I can't even lie. I didn't even. He could have came out and just done nothing. He could have eliminated himself, and I still would have been over the top. But the fact, even the possibility that he might be hanging around for a little while is amazing. Just except for the whole R-Truth is apparently the second Dudley boy there. Wow.
Now, I know I'm probably alone on this, but I was always a huge Boogeyman fan. I like the gimmick, and I feel like it could have always gone somewhere. So that made me really happy.
I wish
Everybody
they had done
popped.
something with it.
I'm sorry, two people were talking there. We got Matt's definitely with the everybody popped. Who else was talking?
Bit tiny. I think they could have done a little bit more with the Boogeyman. Gave him about. Did he eliminate? I don't think he eliminated anybody. I don't think he.
No, he came in and got eliminated by Wyatt.
Yeah, he didn't eat any worms. He didn't do anything. He just got on out of there.
I definitely feel like some worms would have been nice in that little segment with him and Bray. Kane Gantz, the Wonder Twins, come on.
That was actually my surprise of the night. I didn't expect Boogeyman to even show his face anytime soon. So that was my surprise. More so than Bubba Ray.
I would have liked if when Boogeyman was in there, he definitely could have did something more since it was him and Bray, and they're both supposed to be all crazy. You know, Bray did his little back thing. Boogeyman could have did something. They could have just got all crazy, but it ended too quickly.
Now, Gantz is my perfect segue. Gantz is my perfect segue because I want to talk about the goddamn Bray Wyatt. It was kind of boring, I admit, with him eliminating every single motherfucker, but I feel like he should have eliminated 13 motherfuckers last night.
Man, I don't know. Bray is my guy. I would have wanted him to go all the way. He could have kept going with the eliminating one by one, but then Brian came out, so they couldn't do that. But
I understand this, but you know, after Brian got eliminated, the whole match seemed to focus less on who was getting eliminated. We filled the ring with men, and honestly, half the final eliminations I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice Kane got 41 tonight.
yeah, yeah, they were dropping people out like super fast, like everybody.
Finally, because they kept them way too long after having it just 2 men in the ring way too goddamn long. Big Tiny, go ahead and talk to us about Bray Wyatt.
His moveset isn't really that great for me. I like his mic work. I like that I think he's first person to grab the mic and just start cutting the promo during the Royal Rumble. I liked all that. I wasn't feeling the whole Wyatt family thing. I wish they'd separate them if they're going to separate them or keep them together. They're going to keep them together. But
I definitely feel like we had a moment where we could have brought back the Wyatt family. It would have been awesome.
I wish that would have happened.
Either they need to just separate themselves or get back together. Like, why is Roman still wearing that mask? Why is Luke Harper just doing the exact same thing, but they're not getting anywhere? So, I mean, if they're going to push Bray Wyatt, they need to just go ahead and push him.
I want to use all of this as a segue in the long run, but I'm going to rewind this back to Matt and Gantz and you again before we get to Kane on thoughts on Bray, because I do want to talk about Eric Rowan's shitty-ass promo. I know we get a lot of shit about Ryback talking, but oh my fucking god. Matt, tell me about that.
Okay. I like the way that the Royal Rumble match was running with him, just, laying people out, and then it kind of got clogged up, later on when Dean Brock came in. But the whole Wyatt family in there, and I'm turning on you. No, I'm turning on you. No, I'm turning on you. They really didn't play it out that great. I was like, fuck, man, that could have been really good.
More importantly, earlier in the night when Rowan came out and did that promo, how are you feeling?
It was okay. I was expecting a pile of shit just to flop out of the TV, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but I wasn't hating on it.
I guess it kind of falls into Kane realm where he's using these big words that I'm just not expecting him to, and I just want to watch him smack people at best.
Remember, he's the smartest guy ever.
Is that really his gimmick? He is supposed to be like some... Oh god, what's the word for it? It's not autistic.
He has a near genius IQ. He makes fine wines. And I believe he's a chess master or something.
What?
Yeah.
Is this real?
Yeah.
They really said that in the interview. The black guy, he said...
Byron Saxton?
Yeah. He was like, you have a genius IQ. You make fine wines. Why did he wrestle? Why did he put all on the line against Big Show? Because he's a bully. And I hate bullying. Yeah, that's his thing.
Oh my god, Gantz, talk to me about that promo.
I don't know, man. Big Time was saying, why is he still got like the whole Wyatt gimmick thing or something? If he's gonna be this smart guy, he needs to have like a bow tie on with some shades or something. I don't know.
Then you're getting way too close to Damian Sandow's gimmick, which I think is still kind of there.
I don't know. I wouldn't go like the savior of the masses route, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Eric Rowan.
Go ahead and talk to us, Big Tenny, about your thoughts on that promo itself.
The promo itself, I don't get his promos. I don't get why they even let him talk if he has the sheet mask on still. So I don't think he should be talking at all, and I don't even understand how he just stole Curtis Axel's spot. I was really hoping Curtis Axel was going to come back and just knock Roman Reigns out.
I think a few of us were hoping Mr. Perfect was going to actually show up and be perfect for once after how he got taken out. Kane, talk to me about Bray and talk to me about that Rowan promo.
Well, about the promo was okay. I at this point, I don't really favor him talking right now. But as far as Wyatt, Bray in the match, I think they could have done something better with that time. He's just eliminating people, cutting promos, and just
Well, I think in a lot of ways, it helped re-cement Bray Wyatt because we haven't let him talk in a while.
Yeah, you have a point with that, but he's just. I don't know if it was more so to set up Daniel Bryan coming in or to prove his dominance, but I don't. To me, it's just something, and what that something is, I can't say, but I feel like they could have done something else with that as well. With those, 3 or 4 eliminations or so?
It was like, he got like 6 people out. And speaking of that, I mean, in a lot of ways, after Daniel Bryan came in, the whole match changed its pace to feel more like a Rumble. But then we had too many people. Eliminations weren't mattering. Bray wasn't eliminating anybody anymore. It got really weird.
Yeah, the momentum just halted.
And then once Daniel Bryan got eliminated, for me, I was happy, like I said, but then the momentum shifted to such a place where this match was going nowhere very quickly.
It got very dry.
Alex, thoughts on the Rowan promo and thoughts on Bray and his whole dominant run there in the Rumble?
Rowan was pretty much worthless in the end. For a second, I got real happy. The promo didn't mean shit, honestly. But I got real excited whenever it looked like Rowan and Harper were about to go after Bray Wyatt. That would have just been an interesting angle to see develop. And then immediately it didn't happen.
It got tossed really kind of weird. I didn't even, I can't even tell you who got eliminated first. Was it Harper or Rowan?
Technically Harper, but
was it Rowan, at the same time, pretty much?
Yeah, but Rowan wasn't technically in the Rumble, so he wasn't eliminated.
Right.
That's what we were all just discussing.
Yeah, he just walked away.
But Bray going on that run, I mean, the WWE obviously has a lot of faith in him.
They should.
Which, yeah, he obviously deserves it. The only thing is they need to find a feud for him. Desperately need to find a feud for him.
And that is my segue. I knew you were going to lead me into it. We had one of the greatest moments in Rumble history, I think, tonight. And it was not Kofi, but Kofi was pretty fucking awesome. But it was this fun moment where we tossed Bray out through the second rope, and then Daniel Bryan did the suicide dive, which, I mean, honestly, he probably shouldn't have. But I feel like that was a really great angle that got played way too shortly. We should have focused on them fighting out of the ring a little longer. They both came back in pretty much without any fanfare.
I would have liked to see them out there. They would have had their own thing going. Like they might have been fighting in the crowd or doing something, and then they come back towards the end.
It would have made a lot more sense, and I think it would have kept the crowd a lot fucking happier.
Yeah.
We're gonna mix this up a little bit. Go ahead and talk to me about Daniel Bryan and Bray at the same time, Alex.
Oh God. Well, the thing
was it a highlight? I think it was a highlight.
It was a highlight, and it was a low point at the same time because the thought of Bray and Daniel Bryan having another feud is disappointing.
It is, and you know what? Actually, I think that's where the momentum shift happened. I got this really excited moment where they fell out of the ring, but they weren't eliminated, and then from there, shit started flowing downhill quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have done it if they really want to go that direction. They should have had Daniel Bryan eliminate Bray, which I know would not have been the rub that Bray got, but it would have been better if he came back and pulled Bryan out of the ring.
It would have been heel work, but then you're talking about what your biggest fear is, and that's Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt again.
But at the same time, where are they going with either of them going to WrestleMania at this point?
Good point. I'll give it to you. We're going to jump to Big Tiny. Big Tiny, thoughts on the two of them in the ring together?
I've seen Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt a few too many times. I think that was Daniel Bryan's first match back, so I really don't want to see them.
It was his second match back. It was his second match back because his first one was Kane.
Third?
No, He had 2 fights on Kane with Kane on SmackDown, and 1 on Raw in the middle of that, which was against
I
Bray
thought
Wyatt.
Bray was his first on SmackDown. But you saying it's Kane?
I think it was Kane.
It was
I don't watch SmackDown.
yeah, it was Kane.
Kane says it was Kane.
Yeah, but either way, I still don't want to see them go again. I think we should talk about that Kofi moment. I wasn't feeling that either, but just Bray and Bryan.
If you want to talk about that Kofi moment, go for it.
Okay, I think that was the worst one he's had so far. It was just so quick and obvious. And
Agreed.
maybe if he did like a dead rising, walking on people's shoulders and got back in kind of thing. But they just caught him, put him back up there, and got eliminated. If it was gonna be a shit Royal Rumble, you could have at least gave Kofi Kingston a bigger moment than just being caught crowd surfing.
I thought it was interesting that when he got kicked in the head, he didn't just fall off the ring. He jumped in the air, did a corkscrew, and then hit the ground. I didn't really get that.
I would have liked to see him jump off of something or bring out a pogo stick or just do something amazing like he usually does. I think they just really phoned that in.
As much as I love Kofi, and I've talked many a time about how I believe he deserves a world championship reign back in the day, and he could go places, I feel like every time he's had an amazing spot in the Rumble, it's really just because of that Morrison spot.
Yeah, but he still does it well. I mean, that's just part of Royal Rumble.
You're never going to beat that Morrison spot for me where he caught the barricade, climbed back up, ran across, jumped onto the motherfucking stairs. It was the first, and in a lot of ways it will always be the best.
I like Kofi running around the barricades, jumping like however many feet away. No, like Rusev put him on the barricade. He got his balance, did like a tightrope walking thing, and jumped from the barricade to the ring, and got back in there. I think that was like one of the best ones. And him with the chair doing a little pogo with the chair. But
the pogo chair was pretty funny.
Yeah, crowd surfing that was weak.
All right, Kane, thoughts on Daniel Bryan? We're talking about Daniel Bryan and Bray in the ring still, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, that moment, like I said, I felt like they were building up to it. So you got Bray basking in glory. Here comes Daniel Bryan. It should have been the moment that accelerated the Rumble, being that you have the crowd favorite back, and it went flat. Like you said, Bray didn't eliminate anyone else. Daniel Bryan was eliminated. It could have helped accelerate and make the Rumble a little bit better, but it just fell flat. And it's a good idea, but bad execution.
I understand where you're coming from. Matt, thoughts on Bray and Daniel?
I guess they're gonna have a beef now or something. Blah blah blah. They fucked it up. They should have had I was going for Daniel to win, but even if he didn't win, it wouldn't be that bad. But just the fact that they had him lose like that, it was like, what the fuck? He couldn't last a little bit longer. He just came back. Give this dude some shine. Everybody wants it. Hey, this is what your audience wants. Fucking give it to them. Nah, fuck that. We're going to give him this fucking dude that punches a lot because everybody cheered for him last year, but they just cheered for him last year because they didn't want fucking Batista to win. But now, fuck you. He got Batista'd. Biatch.
Right.
I definitely see where you're coming from.
If Ziggler would have won, it would have been awesome. I mean, it could have been, if Big Show would have won, I would have been, yeah, okay. Now, I'm just like, fuck. Sorry.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, dude. I'm not saying I don't. I just, this is the shit we're working with right now. You know what I mean?
There are better options.
Yeah, there's way better options.
I mean, are you guys telling me that you think Daniel Bryan and Lesnar could have put on a good technical match?
Fuck
Dean
yes.
Ambrose and Lesnar would have put on the most hardcore match ever, and it would have been great no matter what.
I definitely see Dean Ambrose being more capable than Daniel Bryan right now, as looking like someone who can actually take on Brock Lesnar.
No, there's no way.
You know, Dean Ambrose doesn't have to have the physicality, but I see Dean Ambrose as like a ruthless animal who's going to do
Right, he's one of those people. He gets put through the mat. He's like whatever. He has that gimmick where he can just get back up and just keep taking hits and do something to stop Brock Lesnar. Daniel Bryan doesn't have that. Roman Reigns doesn't have that. The only Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose. Those are really only two right now that can just. Because who can out muscle Brock Lesnar?
You don't have to out muscle. You don't have to out muscle him. Like, it's not about who's got the biggest muscles. Daniel Bryan could take him down anyway. It's believable because I've seen in real life little dudes take out big dudes.
I've seen in real life Randy Couture get destroyed by Brock Lesnar. So, like, there's no one that can make me believe that they can just destroy Brock Lesnar.
And I mean, on that note, let's be honest. If we're going to talk submission game, Brock Lesnar's got the motherfucking Kimura, and we've shown it dominant not only in the WWE, but it's been dominant forever now.
I mean, the UFC don't even count. I mean, that's like comparing boxing to MMA or whatever to whatever. It's a completely different lane.
But Brock Lesnar's been in both worlds, so he has that. Like, if they're going to be talking about him being NCAA champion, UFC champion during their promos and everything, you got to consider that Brock Lesnar was once the strongest guy in the world.
Look at the way Brock Lesnar went out. A dude kicked him in the gut, fucked him up. Like, he went out like that. He didn't go out as the dude that was just eating people. He lost.
So
he still destroyed a Hall of Famer, and he was still a champion. So, I mean, that doesn't make me believe that Roman Reigns can just do a Superman punch on him and be world champion.
That match is going to be so horrible. It's going to be so bad to watch.
It's going to be terrible.
Quiet.
I hope that.
All right, guys. I put it like this. Whenever that fake WrestleMania billboard came out.
You're fine.
Y'all remember Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar?
Oh, my God.
Much of a Hindenburg that was?
Yeah.
Think about the fact that this is probably going to be a similar level of event, only it's going to take place in the main event of WrestleMania.
You just broke my heart.
And yet it's true.
Alrighty, guys. So after that, like, third commercial break,
I'm going to put commercials in this shit.
that's fine. Spell it out to somebody. You could, I don't know, condom commercials? Because Alex needs to learn to use them so he doesn't have babies.
Fuck off.
Oh.
Fuck off.
I do want to talk about the main event, which, I mean, I know the Rumble takes place last, but we all know the main event was Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins. And I'm sure you guys have some feelings about this fight.
I did. Seth Rollins just proved that he really deserves to be champion.
Turn up a little bit.
And that I wish he had cashed in. I don't know if you got that part, but Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, my dream match at WrestleMania.
5-10 minutes, probably.
I think we'll get that later on in the year, actually. Maybe around SummerSlam.
We're going to have a cash in before then because Money in the Bank's in June. So you're expecting it either at Mania or between Extreme Rules and the second pay-per-view after that.
Probably Mania.
What I'm going to tell you, it would be a great way to end Mania, but honestly, if Seth Rollins had come out and challenged Brock Lesnar to a one-on-one fight at the very end and done a proper cash-in, that Lesnar had to come down to the ring and fight him, I think you could have believably taken the belt off of him at that point. You could have played up that he'd been in that hellacious fight, he'd been injured, all of that shit.
Yeah, sporting a rib, all that. Yeah, I can see that happen.
Well, I mean, with how they ended it, they just cut 17 minutes out of time.
Well, I mean, they had to.
They could have had a singles match earlier in the fucking night.
Well, the ship was going down. They know they had to get out of there.
Maybe they had been planning for that. They knew that their ship was going to go down no matter what. But if they knew that Reigns was the worst choice, why go with Reigns?
Exactly. Because it's them shitting on us again. Like, the Royal Rumble was like number 2 to me in the pay-per-views. Now it's like, fuck this. It's like a big disappointment every year.
To me, it's still less of a disappointment than Mania.
Nah.
I mean, still a Mania.
Mania, I mean, it was what it was, but it wasn't a clusterfuck. Like, even though Taker lost, it still wasn't a clusterfuck. 2 Royal Rumbles back to back, like because it directly affects Mania. You know what I'm saying?
50 Shades of Grey just came out, right? It's about to.
You just reminded me that Undertaker lost. Now, I think I'm just really out of it now.
Guys, my dream booking didn't come true. Undertaker was not number 30.
Did anyone else think that The Rock was part of it?
Yeah, we all did. Yeah, we all pretty much thought that The Rock was going to be number 30.
No, I thought he was 31. Like, that's how disillusioned I was.
They were going to pop one out of nowhere.
When we got to the end,
I thought Rock was going to come out there and say, "I'll make the rules now. I'm 31."
When we got to the end, a good friend of mine, one of our long-term friends, especially me and Alex's, and even Kane and Gans have known this guy for a long time by now, but Jarrett came out and said that Big Show was going to be in this match. He thought Bo Dallas was too, and he was wrong. Haha, bitch. But more,
I would have loved if Bo Dallas was in it.
I hate Bo Dallas, but that's besides the point. I'm not talking about that real quick. I wanted to say that, like, at the point where he's like, Big Show is going to come out still, I really just didn't feel like Big Show felt like he melded with a group of people that was in there. We had all this big fucking muscle. I already said it once tonight, but we had some of the biggest guys possible in the motherfucking ring.
Mm-hmm.
You had the greatest number 27 entrant we've had in a while, I think. And adding Big Show was just like overkill.
Well, they came in and fucking Hill McCain destroyed everybody that should have fucking won.
Yeah, they did.
They took out they took out everybody but the fucking dude nobody wanted to win.
They made what is normally the best part of the Rumble, which is the Final Four, and there being 4 guys who all could possibly win, and just destroyed it because they made it them and Ambrose and Reigns, and then they immediately eliminated Ambrose.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. Out of all of the Final Fours, the Rumble, we did a lot of predictions going into here. We changed some of our predictions. We had thought processes every week going into this on our podcast, talking about, hey, this is what we're going to see. This is what we want to see. And out of everybody that we'd ever named, we dropped Reigns by the end. And the only person who was still on that list was Dean Ambrose. And I don't think anybody had even mentioned him on the Raw reunion.
Ric Flair did.
Yeah, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ric Flair's the one who had backed him. We only had one of those 4 in the Final Four. And technically, that's not even true, because technically the Final Four was Rusev. Rusev was technically part of the Final Four, not Ambrose.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
So we didn't even have that if we really think about it. But at this point, enough about the Rumble. Like I said, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this main event. If we're going to need to lead it a little bit more, let's go with that corkscrew flip into a headbutt. I mentioned it in private to Alex, but I think it was more meant to be a splash, maybe a Phoenix splash or something. Matt, how did you feel? Huh?
From what it looked like originally, it was supposed to be a Phoenix splash that he came up short on, but the fact that he came up short and it turned into a headbutt might have actually made the move even better.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because when we was all over here watching it, we was like, oh shit, and then we was like, wait, was that supposed to happen? Yeah, I mean, it was obviously supposed to be a splash, but still, I mean, it even looked good on the playback because he just like flipped all around and headbutted him right in the gut. So it turned out pretty good, whether or not he botched it. You know what I'm saying?
In the end, he sold it no matter what.
I'm not going to say it was a botch because obviously it's a very hard to pull off move, and he didn't botch it in quite the way that Lesnar botched the shooting star press because that man landed wrong.
He almost fucking killed himself.
Exactly, and we'll say that Seth Rollins still landed in pretty much the right way. He just didn't get quite enough distance.
He didn't even look back.
No, he didn't. He got that shit. It was damn near perfect. Speaking of that and things that, oh my god, you know, when he jumped, we'll put it like this. Lesnar had the Kimura lock on John Cena, and he stood up, and Cena stood up, and he's holding Lesnar, and Seth Rollins jumped on both of them. And I didn't notice it when it happened. I didn't see it until the replay. There was a lot of replays in that damn match. But the way that Rollins jumped and still made it look like he was kneeing Lesnar in the face really helped sell that moment for me in that replay.
Right, he kind of landed on him, and he looked like he was just still on them for 3 seconds, just
oh yeah, it
right
looked like
on
he
top
floated on top of them, and Cena was just picking up both of them motherfuckers.
His knee was just on Brock Lesnar's neck, like 3 seconds before they hit the ground. Like it was just a dead hit.
Other than that, we had a really great was that double German suplex from Lesnar to J&J?
Yeah, well, whatever you want to call it.
It was impressive. This is what I'm talking about, though. I mean, at this point, do we feel that we've built Lesnar to be too tough, Gantz? Gantz?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Do you feel like we've built Lesnar to be too tough by now?
Yeah.
I mean, he just won with a broken rib, supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, he was just drawing in that match, and on top of that, he beat The Undertaker. Like, he's unstoppable right now.
I think he should be unstoppable. I think they just need to do a better job of building up the opposition for him.
I could see that. Kane, what are your thoughts on it?
I feel like Lesnar is unstoppable, but I also feel like he won't be around for long. So let him dominate, because someone else they're gonna pass the buck to someone else.
Well, they're trying to pass the buck to Roman Reigns, but like, Brock Lesnar's unstoppable.
I wasn't trying to put too much out there, but yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you're putting all of that onto Reigns, you have a problem, because you're taking such a great build and you're putting it on somebody who's not as strong.
And that means if you're gonna pass the buck to Reigns, then that means that the cashing in of the cashing of the title attempt will be failed.
Yeah, you're right now that you mention it, because Seth Rollins is going to cash in. When's Money in the Bank? It's June, right?
Just saying, yeah.
So that would mean that Reigns would have, what, a 3-month title reign?
At most right now.
Yeah. Which means that Seth Rollins is not going to be able to win the title. There's no way they pull the title off of somebody in 3 months on their first title reign.
I bring to you Dolph Ziggler in that.
Okay, that was a special exception.
What about Del Rio? Didn't that happen to Del Rio? He didn't have it that long, did he?
I'm not sure about his first title defense, but I think when he got it the second time, that might have happened.
And what about Jack Swagger? Wait, I don't think he ever got it. Nope. Never mind. That guy never.
Randy Orton lost his pretty quick.
Randy Orton
to the Money in the Bank.
His first title defense?
Randy Orton, as the current belt, the Unified Championship belt, only held it for, 4 months? He got it at TLC. He combined the belts at TLC, I want to say, last year, held it through the Rumble, Elimination Chamber, lost it at Mania.
Right.
So, I mean, you could take that and chew on it and think about it a little bit, but we're definitely going into an interesting WrestleMania at this rate.
They haven't built up proportionately anybody to Brock Lesnar status, like especially after they just destroyed John Cena. So how are they going to build up Roman Reigns in 63 days?
63 days, yeah. Put that into perspective. We're actually going to do the Mania early this year. It's going to be at the very, very end of March. It's normally at the very beginning of April. So there's going to be a pay-per-view in March. We've got February's Fastlane, and some douchebag in here tried to call me a dipshit earlier, but in every fucking video we saw for Fastlane tonight, Brock Lesnar's in it. So I'm kind of expecting the man to show up at that pay-per-view. Alex.
I don't think he's going to be there no matter what you say.
Well, I mean, why the fuck would you put his picture on the damn thing then? We didn't have his picture on TLC.
He might be a promo or something.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to wrestle. That's damn sure not.
Yeah, he
gonna
might
happen.
just show up.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a title defense happen at Elimination Chamber, even though there is going to be a Royal Rumble match, or winner victory match at Mania. I think the most recent one was actually The Rock and CM Punk. They had a fight at Elimination Chamber, even though John Cena won the Rumble.
Yeah, that's just John Cena being John Cena.
Huh? What's up?
They said people that watch wrestling
He makes a good point.
show. What is Fastlane?
It's the next pay-per-view. They had promo scores.
What other matches could they even do it?
The tag matches. Oh, WrestleMania, the year that Cena beat The Rock?
We know what
Or last year?
that's right.
I mean, this year, like,
Still huge matches on.
just Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, I guess.
We've had all sorts of
like-
Might be taking on Undertaker.
From the looks
We've
of
had
it,
a lot of
Cena
shitty
versus
community
Rusev.
pay-per-views. But you bring up a good point I want to get to.
For the Fastlane or Mania?
Probably
Mania, I
both.
haven't seen anything interesting from Mania yet.
Right now, going into Mania, the most interesting thing we have is Sting versus Triple H. And we didn't get a Sting appearance tonight. And I know we had a lot of predictions about a cash-in and Sting interrupting that shit. And I think that would have really helped seal the deal on making this a better pay-per-view.
I wouldn't have
I
done
want-
that.
The problem was
I want Seth to be successful.
Lesnar pinned Seth. Lesnar pinning Seth, it took the Money in the Bank possibility out of it because Seth was out after the F5.
Yeah, he pancaked that boy. Hardcore.
He was down and he was not going to move.
So you're telling me that was the Simone pancake? Sorry. Was that too soon? That was too soon. I know everybody's really upset about this Roman Reigns thing going into it, but I mean, I think Rusev versus Cena's looking pretty nice. That could be
If
an
Cena
interesting
puts him
feud.
over,
I don't think you have to worry about that. It's just how well can they do a feud.
hell, I would take, honestly, and this is going to be a little bit Markish from my childhood, teenage years, whatever you want to call it. If Cena beat Rusev at the Fastlane and took the U.S. Championship, for the simple fact that how big would the U.S. Championship be at that point if John Cena is the one holding that belt?
Oh, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. You're going places. You are going
If John
places.
Cena is holding the U.S. Championship, how important does that belt become? It becomes second tier to Brock Lesnar holding the WWE Championship at that point.
I mean, to be utterly honest with you, it might be top tier. The U.S. Championship is the most important belt in the company because you're not doing good enough with the Intercontinental, and more importantly, your world champion is now Roman Reigns.
Well, but you get what I'm saying because it gives some, even if Rusev wins it back the next at WrestleMania, the fact that John Cena held it just for a month makes it seem important again.
I can see that short title reigns don't mean much, or mean a lot if there's still
Bring back a
important
spinner belt.
victories. Well,
Blasphemy.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going. Besides that, I mean, I really see us doing a Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt feud for another few months. I know nobody wants that, but I see that.
Yeah, I don't see anything right now that makes me want to watch Mania. The only thing good is Sting, and
We're not building it yet for some reason.
I wouldn't watch the whole thing. I would just wait the day after, the morning after, and just fast forward to that match and call it a day.
Somebody's watching Fastlane.
I was
Boom!
about to say,
Somebody's getting in the
there's
fast lane.
Fastlane.
If we want to talk about this real quick, shitty pay-per-view names. And oh my
Fast
fucking
lane.
God.
Fastlane.
Fastlane might be one of the worst. Fatal 4-Whatever, I think.
Overdrive.
There was an Overdrive, Over the Limit. Over the Limit.
Yeah, over
the limit. Capital punishment.
You know, the first Capital Punishment I was really excited for because I was hoping that motherfucking R-Truth would win everything.
And it had
Wasn't there some goofy in your houses?
Yeah.
They called one D-Generation X. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, there was quite a few bad ones. There was also a
I think
Rock
there was a Know
pay-per-view,
Your Role.
wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was Know Your
Rock
Role.
bottom. Rock bottom,
Yeah, rock
right?
bottom. Rock bottom. Yeah.
We've had a lot of bad moments over this year. Do you think there is any way, we're going to start with Matt on this one, do you think there's any way that this Reigns versus Lesnar feud can work?
Turn Lesnar face and turn Reigns heel. It might work a little bit with the tease that the fucking Money in the Bank is cashed in the Mania. There you go.
Do you feel like they can put on a match, Matt?
No, I don't. It's going to be really shitty. It's going to be a really shitty match, and it's going to be horrible to watch. But at the end of it, Rollins comes in and cashes in. There you go. That gave it a little bit of a yippee-yay. It'll be good to see him champ, because he can wrestle and he can talk. He's a good bad guy. And then that'll set up the whole Dean beefing with him. That'll set that whole thing up.
I hear you. Gantz, thoughts on this? Can it be good at all?
No. I don't see too much coming from Reigns in the match. Just a lot of punching and maybe a headlock or something. And then he's got to do his drop kick. But other than that, I'm really hoping that, Seth just comes in and wins it. And
I hear you.
that's all I see for it.
Can we just say what all of our hope is at this point? All of our hope is that even if it's not at the start of the match, but that at some point, it could be just in the middle of the match that Seth Rollins just walks down and tries to cash in the one-on-one match and makes it interesting again.
Make it a triple threat.
At this point,
Yeah, he basically turns it into a triple threat on
at
his
this
own.
point, we have got to hope that something happens between now and Mania. Instead of questioning whether this can be a good match, because we all know there's pretty much no chance in hell, I'm going to start with Kane. Do you think Daniel Bryan's going to try to get into the main event no matter what again?
I believe he will try what he can to get in that main event. If we're taking what we were just talking about with Ambrose making it, not Ambrose, but Rollins making it a triple threat, with Daniel Bryan trying to do what he can to get into that match, it'll make it a four-way. So what I can say with with the participants anyway, they will be spent because they will be trying to overpower each other. Brock Lesnar with all his mighty strength and power, trying to beat the crap out of Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns trying to punch his life away. But They're both going to be spent. But I feel like Daniel Bryan will probably try to do something to get back into that match, because I feel like he feels cheated because of the injury and him having the title last year and not necessarily having a reign with the title. So we don't know what he would have done with the title and things like that.
I hear you, Big Tiny. Is Daniel Bryan going to try to get into the main event?
I don't necessarily. I like Daniel Bryan. I don't really want to see him in the main event again. I think he had his moment. I think he's trying to do a SmackDown and everything. He doesn't seem as motivated as last year to me. I definitely think they're probably going to add somebody else to that match. They have to, because it's just awful. I think maybe they should do something with the Undertaker or something, but I don't know. Daniel Bryan's had his moment for me. He can be champion again, but I don't think WrestleMania is really his spot right this year.
I fully agree. I don't think WrestleMania should be his spot. As much as I like Daniel Bryan, we really need to focus on the new guys this year, and I don't see anything good coming out of Roman Reigns because he's greener than green. But shit me, dude. I mean, we got to move things sooner or later. Matt, what are your thoughts here? Daniel Bryan trying to get into the main event?
I don't think he will. I don't want him to, and that's like one of my top wrestlers. I don't think he will, and I don't want him to. What I think is going to happen is he's going to be like, damn, maybe I'm not 100%, or maybe I'm not good enough. I got to work my way up. Maybe he takes that whole I got to grind it out approach.
I'm not against it. Like I said, I think there are better things we can do after Mania with Daniel Bryan and the World Championship, especially against Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, Mania is already pretty much fucked. So it's like a speed bump you got to get over.
I understand where you're coming from there. Gantz, do you think he's going to try to get in there?
I think he's going to try to get in there. Probably. Because, he never did lose the title. But, I don't know. I think he'll try to get in there or something. Maybe will happen with... Because, the whole Big Show Reigns thing wasn't really settled. Maybe Big Show.
I was kind of expecting Big Show Reigns all the way through Mania, to be honest with you. We hadn't really done them at a pay-per-view fight yet, and this was really the time to go ahead and let them rubber match it, get them tied up, get them ready to go, and,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or, Big Show does something and takes Reign out of the match completely.
Well, see, you could have started the feud here at the Rumble. One of them takes the other one out. Neither of them win. You do them at Fastlane, so now the other one has a victory over them. And then you do the tiebreaker match. It's perfect fun. Though I will admit, I was expecting them to finally do John Cena Rock 3, and I guess that's going to wait till next year.
I really don't want to see a John Cena Rock.
I'm so over John Cena Rock.
I've said it numerous times. I'm still expecting this shit, guys. I find it hard to believe that it won't happen with how they went, oh man, he had an injury. They're tied right now, 1-1. There's got to be a tiebreaker one of these days. You know how WWE does things. Alex.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
What are your thoughts on Daniel Bryan and trying to get into the main event again?
Honestly, there's no spot left for him at this point. I don't know who he's going to feud with. The only thing that shows up heel-wise is, unfortunately, people he's already gone against. You either get... I'm just going to put this out there right now. The people that are left available for WrestleMania booking-wise, from what has been basically shown, per se, Orton, if he comes back a heel, which supposedly he's coming back face.
I was surprised he didn't show up tonight. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Orton didn't show up. I was kind of sad. So you have possibly Orton, which we've seen before. Wyatt, who we've seen before. Or Kane.
Sheamus might come back.
Sheamus is not coming back as a heel, though.
Man, if you bring Sheamus back right now, that's just another main eventer to me that, like...
I think that Reigns isn't going to last as a face. I have a feeling they might eat him up.
I mean, I hope you're right, because he could be a much better heel with his silentness than he could be as face.
I mean, he don't know how to. He's not gonna know how to handle this heat. I mean, he was geeking out already. He's not gonna be able to handle it and be like, "Hey, I'm a good guy." While they're, he's not Cena. Cena don't give a fuck. He brushes that shit off.
Oh, dude, Cena brushed it off like a motherfucker tonight. That whole crowd was booing him, and he just still threw up a sign and all smiles and all that shit. I was like, all right,
He always does, and it's part of the reason why I've always loved him. The Smarks hated him back in the 06-07 days after he'd already been wearing that belt for way too damn long. And, as much hate as the man gets, I'll always be a fan just because he doesn't care what the crowd, like the smart people, think.
He put in work tonight, though.
He knows that he does a good job out there. He does good on the mic still, and he gets the job done. He's carried the company, and it's not a bad thing.
I respect him. I just don't like him.
Kane, you were trying to say something there. Go for it.
Oh, I was just going to comment on that Roman Reigns situation. Let's say that main event is Reigns and Lesnar. That could be the heel switch. If he gets the title, that could be the moment where he switches heel that night. I think it'll be a better look for him to be heel, but to your point, I don't think he knows what to do with it.
My thing about heels is they work best as kind of slimy characters at times, and him as a monster heel or a really powerful heel when the authority is still in position just doesn't work for me. But I want to end the night with some dream booking because we do have to cut this episode. So
there's nothing left to dream
I've got some dream booking for you. I've got a picture to paint that I think you'll love, okay? We need to fix WrestleMania, right? And there's only one way to fix WrestleMania right now. And that is to introduce a new fucking title. And I'm going to tell you, the only place you can introduce a new title is as a SmackDown-only title. And run a tournament for the next 2 fucking months on motherfucking SmackDown. And have everybody fucking in it. You bring Orton back to SmackDown. You bring Sheamus back to SmackDown. You put Bray Wyatt as a SmackDown-only name. And you run that all the way until Mania, where the belt finally gets fucking won. And it can go to Daniel Bryan, damn it. Sure, he deserves something. If you're going to give him something, let's give him a fucking belt. But let's make it something that people want to tune in and watch every fucking week. Because they want to know where this is going. And you'll have a lot of big names. And if you have them on that channel, if you have them on that program, you'll have people watching that program. You can make them all relevant again.
All right, John, if you're going to dream book that, hang on. If he's going to dream book that, can we please dream book then that they bring SmackDown back to live? Because, oh my God, the hairdryer crowd is so bad.
Man.
It hurts my ears and my face and everything about my soul.
I hear you, but we got 3 guys on here who are never on here. So, Kane, let's start with you. Dream book me something. Make something amazing happen for Mania.
Let me think on that.
Fine, we're going to Gantz. Gantz, make something happen. Make it amazing.
Dream booking for Mania?
You got 2 months to build something.
Let's see. I'll go with my man Bray. Probably doing a gauntlet match through the whole Mania. And then end with 3 stages of hell.
You want Bray to have an actual feud. Who would you feud him up to go to a 3 stages of hell match at Mania?
Seth.
Have Bray go after Seth to just slow down the whole Money in the Bank thing for the next couple of months?
Sure, why
I
not?
could actually really see that. Bray Wyatt starts targeting Seth, stops Seth stuff, they start fighting every fucking week, and they do a 3 stages of hell match. I could watch that. I'll give it to you. Big Tiny, paint us something awesome for Mania.
I think I'm still just the biggest Dean Ambrose fan in here, so I still want to see Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins that's just the best feud I've seen in so long. I want to see Undertaker get back and just at least go out on a good match. Just something he can be proud of. And that's all I want to see. Just Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Undertaker going out on top and just leaving. Leaving with a better number than 21-1.
If I could do anything with Undertaker, it would be a good 4-month run. And I don't mean he has to wrestle every fucking week, but he wrestles all 4 pay-per-views and at least a couple episodes.
Right.
Something with him and somebody where he really gets them the fuck over, and he ends up still going out on a high note.
Oh, Dream Book, Stone Cold, Dean Ambrose. That's what I want to see.
I would love that match, actually. That would be a great fucking match. Kane, you got anything now?
Dang it. You know what? That was just what I was about to say. Stone Ambrose or Stone Cold and someone else. But take that match, and if I could, dream match, if I had the power to bring back life, I would reach down and I would pull Macho Man out of his grave, and I'd bring him back to life. I'd bring him to Mania. I'll put let's say Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins and Macho Man. I don't know.
I like that match.
Just with Chris Benoit.
Pulling one
Somebody
out.
told me tonight, we're going to end the show right here. Somebody told me tonight that they would rather see Macho Man's corpse win the Rumble than The Rock. Alright, guys. This is Kayfabe Gimmicks. I'm Snuva. Unclean Spitter's been here.
Yep.
We've had Gantz.
Got ATL Gantz.
Bit tiny what it tastes like.
That made me
Oh,
laugh.
Lord. Oh, God. He said what it tastes like.
I just wanted to know.
I think that man's gasping for breath right now. Are you okay, Kane?
You might have killed him.
Okay, I'm all right.
Alright, do you guys want to, you've never been on Kayfabe before, do you guys want to do any cheap shout-outs to yourself or anything you do?
Yeah, I do. Go check out, if you like hip-hop music, I got a podcast over there that I do. I also upload tracks. It's on Eviction Records on YouTube. Just go look it up if you're into that type of shit.
Always shout out yourself, ho.
I have to. Nobody else is. Damn. Give me some play, damn it.
He makes a good point. He makes a very solid point.
I fucking reshare all of his fucking videos so he can go to fucking hell.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh my god.
That cheap pop.
That cheap pop indeed, that Charlie Haas pop. Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. You guys have a great night, and we will be having our After Raw episode like always.